All right, welcome back to another episode of the Wealth and Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Collins. Before we delve into the topics of today's conversation, I do just want to give a heartfelt thank you to everybody that engaged with the first post, whether it be to one of the 23 people that subscribed. Thank you all individually so much. I really, truly appreciate that. 200 plus views for my first video, again, means a lot to me. So anybody that, whether you subscribed and or liked it or not, if you took your time out of your day to sit down and hear me out and listen to what I put out there, thank you. I do appreciate that. And again, it's going to be my worst one because it was my first one. So just expect these to get better. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So a big topic I did want to cover today was going to be the idea of the lonely chapter. It's something that I see myself in right now as a 24-year-old trying to navigate the world. I got a day job. I have passions and things I'm trying to pursue. And for a long time, I was a procrastinator. Still am in certain aspects, so I'm not going to preach like I don't procrastinate anything. I got this out a little later than I wished to because of some stuff that came up. I had my girlfriend and sister's graduation this past weekend. I worked every day last week, and I got sent to different centers and whatnot. So I was kind of on the move and had a lot going on. So even this episode is something that I necessarily procrastinated, but I wasn't able to give as much time to it as I wished. So again, the idea of procrastination, how I help myself get out of it in certain aspects and how I'm working to get myself out of it in totality, because I still do procrastinate some things, and nothing I say is going to be like me talking down on you because I'm not better than anybody that listens to this. I put my pants on the same way as you. I bleed blood the same way you do, and I fear only God. So let's just kind of take everything into account from a perspective of just growing together and sharing what I think has helped me in that aspect. But the lonely chapter is something that both Chris Williamson and Alex Hormozy, I don't know if you know who those people are by name, but they've dropped a couple of podcasts together and they do independent content on their own. I think they're two people that I listen to and I've learned a lot from, just their vantage points on life, their experiences, and kind of how they've gotten to be the people they are. Totally different approaches, as one's more like work, no matter what. I love work. Work is life. Life is work. That's Alex Hormozy. Chris Williams is kind of more the equilibrium where I see myself like, hey, work-life balance, but also keeping the main thing, and prioritizing that and letting everything else kind of fall into place. Don't say no to things because you're necessarily afraid, but make sure that you take care of what it is that's important to you before you go do those other things. So those are two people that I like for different reasons, but when they come together for whatever reason, I think they put out very quality content as their perspectives kind of balance each other out, and they just have very meaningful conversations. So the idea of the lonely chapter, which again I'll cover, passive income, what that is, how to get it, and what's going on as far as like hustle culture and all that. You're not going to wake up and have passive income. This kind of comes back to the idea of keeping the main thing, and building that as time goes on. The ultimate goal when it comes to passive income is not trading time for money. And I'm trading time for money right now. So again, I'm in no position to preach as this is what I've done. But between listening to a Dave Ramsey, successful entrepreneurs and people like that, I think I've learned a lot just from the aspect of how to get there, what it actually means, and what your mindset should be about it as somebody who isn't in a position to have it tomorrow. Because there's too many things you'll see online about create this drop shipping company or this store and get a bot and do this. And yes, it's possible. Yes, other people have done it. It doesn't mean you can't do it if that's what you want to pursue and that's what you dedicate your time to. I think trying that is better than thinking of a million things and not doing anything, right? I know that action is the most important thing. So I think the courage is in trying. So I'm not ever going to discourage anybody from trying to do something. I just want to give you a mindset around what that truly is and not get it confused with waking up overnight and having $6,000 a month coming into your bank account because you set something up. It's possible. Again, if that's the situation and you live through that, I would love to talk to you because I think I've listened to people talk about it and it's clearly something that has a proven track record of being doable. So if anybody else can do it, you can. So that's not my point. I'm not going to discourage anybody from that. But ultimately, I just kind of wanted to cover the topic of there's Kai. Look at him. Kai's in. Come here, bud. Come here, buddy. We'll say hi. But yeah, so the ultimate goal in this case is going to be to kind of give you a perspective around the idea of that and how I've navigated it. As I've probably seen all the videos a lot of you have, people who are probably watching this have a similar mindset, want to be better, want to get more money for the right reasons. Doesn't the reasons kind of irrelevant because we all have our own reasons for wanting to do things. But that being said, there's no right or wrong reason to do that. And ultimately, the goal is to build income to the point where you don't have to worry about things and trade time for money because you want to pursue what's truly important to you. So we're on that journey together, and I hope to bring you guys some value in this episode. So to get into it, that first topic, like I mentioned, is going to be the lonely chapter. This is a beautiful thing because I feel like there's a lot of people in a similar situation where they're not necessarily connecting with their friends the same way or the people they've associated themselves with their whole lives, whether it was situational or true friendships, because they're not yet successful enough to be with the people they want to be, but their mindset has shifted enough to not necessarily relate or demand the demand of wanting to be with your friends that were your friends forever. And again, it doesn't mean cut everybody off, but if you're in this situation, you've kind of prioritized different things and lost connections on a deeper level. That doesn't mean that you can't still have casual friends or people that you view the world differently as. I think that's what friends are. And I think if you were friends with only people who are like you, it'd be pretty freaking boring, if you ask me. So keep those relationships and do what you will, but you might just naturally find yourself spending less time with people. As I'm 24, so people are all over the world doing their own thing. Everyone's got a career. Maybe they have girlfriends. Maybe they're getting engaged. Maybe they're having kids, right? Stuff comes up and different things are important in different phases of your life. And I've lost certain connections, maybe the depth of the connection, not the connection itself, but the amount of time and relationships I've had with people have maybe dwindled because of what I'm trying to do. And I'm in the point where that's still going on, but I'm still not yet in that position where I can truly say I'm with the people I want to be like or friends with because I'm not yet successful enough to prove myself in that realm. So that's the idea of the lonely chapter. And comparison's a huge thing. So people kind of get caught up in comparing themselves to other people. And with social media on our phones, all we can really do is compare ourselves to other people. So it's okay to find yourself in a position where you're not sure what your next steps are. You don't feel deeply connected to anybody in a sense. Obviously, I have a handful of people that I do have deep connections with, and I value those friends, and they know who they are. So I don't want anyone listening to this to think I'm like depressed or don't have like a group that I can vent or use as an outlet, because I truly do have a great support system between my friend Dan, my girlfriend, my other friends that they know who they are that I can reach out to if I ever needed something, and my family. So I have a supporting cast, but even with family, obviously, sometimes in life you might be thinking about other things and they want you to show up to something and you just can only. I want you to view your time and your energy as the only form of currency because money is made up. Money is not real. Kai, this fucking dog. Yeah, money is just an idea. It's great. Having money solves all your money problems, and that's what I'll get to is building wealth as well. Obviously, it's a goal of mine, so that's not to say money isn't important at all. Money goes a long way, but money is like alcohol, and I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say it, but drunk words are sober thoughts. So money, like alcohol, only amplifies the person you are. It exposes you for who you really are. So you'll see the people who get money and start acting arrogant, and then you'll see the people who get money and start becoming philanthropic, nonprofits, other large businesses, and just trying to help other people. So it truly makes you more of who you already are as a person, and I firmly believe that. So the idea of money being the root of all evil is interesting. People will do awful things and sell their souls for money. So that's a lot of where that comes from. So there's truth and validity to that. But ultimately, I think it really just comes down to becoming a good person first and having that work ethic behind you to really prove that this is who I say I am, who I say I am. And we really are just an accumulation of all the decisions that we make. So how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're going to cut corners, during workouts or during little things or no one's looking, you just need to remain integrous and have integrity around who you are. And when no one's working, when no one's looking, that's really truly the time that you should be thinking, hey, I got to buckle down because I am who I say I am. And that's when it's important. It's truly more important to do it when nobody's looking as opposed to putting on a facade. So I want you all to kind of take that into account. If you feel like you're in a similar position, it's okay. I hope to build a community of people that are in similar spots that they're wanting more from life, but not. I don't want you to feel like there's nobody you can connect with. There are people in similar situations to you feeling similar things, and you're never going to be the first person on this planet to feel the way you do. So I promise you, if somebody else has done it, you can too. And if anybody else has gone through what there's little intricate details in everyone's situation that are probably unique. No one's gone through exactly the same things that you have in that order, because everyone's here and living life for the first time. So be yourself, be vulnerable enough to share with people, put yourself out there, and let the world respond to it how it will. But I don't encourage you to try to be something else or somebody else, because everybody else is taken. And most of the time, those people aren't that cool anyway. So really just be yourself, be authentic. Faith and truth are two of the only things that matter. And truth is something in this world that I think is dwindling. From the vantage point of media, I will not say the word news because I think it's blasphemous to allow news stations to still promote themselves as news. I mean, they're covering the same thing and giving their opinion on it. It's media. It's ideology. It's not even the people you're hearing speaks words. They're reading a teleprompter, and they're trying to either leverage the masses against each other and cause division, or just sell fear. That's what they do. They're selling fear. Fear sells a lot more than the story about the guy saving the kitten from the tree. And you don't really see that stuff anymore. And obviously it exists. It's on smaller platforms. It's talked about, but it doesn't get quite the notoriety that negativity does. So don't feel like that they have your best interest in heart. And that's hard to say. Some people grew up on network or legacy media, and it's just not what it used to be. And that's something that I think truth is really under attack. So that's why I think it's important to create a platform where you're able to speak your own truth. You don't have to go out and film yourself saying things, but in your day-to-day walk of life, if you could just not be afraid to say how you feel, the world will be a better place. And that goes for everybody, whether I agree or disagree with you on what you're saying. I will never try to take away your right to say what it is you feel, because that is the the foundation of this country. So speak your truth, be yourself, speak your truth, and just be bold. Don't worry about it. Most of the time, the silent majority exists, and it takes one person to have the courage to say something to change someone else's life or move forward how they act in public. So you will be doing more than you think you will, just as a not a reciprocal, but as the butterfly effect of just maybe someone was in attendance that you didn't know was listening, or you didn't know was there, or will never tell you they were there. But that it takes one thing to change somebody's life. And that's why it's important to act out, and not act a fool, but just act with confidence, with pride, and without shame. You should not ever be ashamed of who you are, because all we have in this world is ourselves. And yes, you want to establish great relationships, but you come into this world and you leave this world alone. What you do in the interim is your legacy, but it's important to remain truthful to who you are as a person, and how you carry yourself goes a long way. So legacy is like your credit. We'll talk about credit as well at some point, but it takes 10 years, maybe not so long anymore. Jesus Christ. All right, just took the dog outside. Had to take a little break. He was getting a little crazy there for a second. Bit of a distraction for me, so should be good for a little bit. But let's hop back into wherever we left off. We'll get right into the quote for today's episode. The quote is really going to be around the idea of confidence. I think confidence is something that is worked on. There's a difference between arrogance and confidence as well. People can be born arrogant and perceive that their shit doesn't stink and that they're great. But true confidence comes from stacking evidence that you are who you say you are, doing those things. And truly, I've been working on my self confidence lately the last couple of years, and I felt more confident through just working on myself mentally, keeping my word to myself. Something that I've been trying to do for a while. I smoked a lot of weed in college. I still partook a little bit after college. I still smoke occasionally and smoke for sure. So I don't want to say like I'm like sober. I'm not going to pretend to be sober or anything. I'm living my life and doing what it is I enjoy. And I still think like I enjoy marijuana, but I told myself for years that I needed to stop. And I kept telling, I had the same conversation with myself probably like 10 to 20 times. Like, nah, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then maybe it was good for a day. And then it was right back to the same routine and just defeating. And it didn't hit. I was doing it maybe even subconsciously. I just kept doing that. It was a habit. It wasn't even sure it was a form of addiction, but in a vice, like again, like, oh, if something bad happens, my instinct was just to go smoke pot and just get through it. But it just numbs everything. And if you're numbing the good things, if you're numbing the bad things, you're ultimately also numbing the good things. So I was at a point in time where I wasn't truly happy and I didn't feel anything. Like nothing was good, but I mistakenly like covered that up by the fact that I wasn't feeling bad things. But I want to feel things now. Like I think it's important. Like the sun isn't nice unless it's raining. So like you really do just have to weather those storms interpersonally and find ways to deal with them. But to tie it back to confidence, I lied to myself more than a handful of times on that just one thing. Like, I'm going to stop this. And then I didn't. And it was eroding my self confidence because I can't even keep a promise to myself. That's truly where I was at. And I've now gotten a lot better at not using or abusing the substance. I do it when I feel like it, not because other people are doing it or because I'm having a shit day. I, again, still do it, but I definitely have taken a control back of my life, and it's empowered me in one aspect to feel more confident. Another aspect has been working out. Not so much like I'm not a bodybuilder. I sure size is the prize. It's cool to look good with your shirt off, and that's its own level of confidence. Like I'm not embarrassed to take my shirt off anywhere I go, and that wasn't always the case in my life. So that's cool. But it's more of that level of discipline and showing up to the gym for months on end, years on end, and consistently showing up 4 or 5 times a week to do something I don't necessarily want to do. And I've done it. And I now enjoy working out. It's like success comes with like a J curve. So if you think about a J, right, it's a swoop like that. So you start something at a baseline level of whatever it is you think. You start somewhere. Some people are talented at certain things, so maybe it starts here, but everybody starts something at this level. And then you really, really grind and you're not seeing the benefit of it yet. So there's a success path with it where you're like working out, doing or reading, working on a business model. And it's not really, you're not seeing a whole lot. And right about here is where a lot of people quit, right at the bottom of the J. And obviously, I'm sure you're all understanding that it's going to start here, it's going to loop. And then you have this breakthrough of like, okay, this is starting to get fun. This sucks. This sucks. Why am I doing this to myself? I'm sore. I'm tired. And then you start seeing progress and you get back to here. And then it's exponential when it shoots up, just like any skill that you start and stick to. If you can stick to something, Atomic Habits says it takes 90 days to build a habit. Great book if you haven't read it. Super useful and super applicable to a lot of things because it's just about habits. And breaking habits, in my opinion, it's easier to stop or eliminate things than it necessarily is to add things. Like a lot of people will try to biohack their morning and add this to my routine or add that. And yeah, sure, you should drink water and you should see sunlight. The first two things you do when you wake up, like you shouldn't grab your phone and you shouldn't go grab a coffee because it's going to dehydrate you. And forget the part of your brain, but it takes 60 to 90 minutes of being awake for the receptors in your brain that respond to caffeine to even take that into effect fully. So it's almost counterintuitive, but it's a thing. I can look more into that at some point, but drink water, see sunlight, sure. But it's easier to stop doing something. Like, for example, for myself, smoking weed, it was easier for me to just eliminate that than it was to add these 50 habits that are going to make me optimal and this or that. And it's a slow grind. You should habit stack. Now that you stop doing that, maybe you add in a morning walk. Maybe you're now adding walks into your day, so you're getting those 10,000 steps to be metabolically healthy, right? So there's ideas of that. And I think, but to loop it all back together is just like confidence is keeping your word to yourself, because it's so easy to say that in public and then go behind a closed door and rip a bong and just throw away the next 3 hours and go play Mario Kart and Fortnite, whatever you're doing, right? Like it's such wasted time. And if you allocated the 2 hours a day, this isn't talking to anybody in particular, if you're taking 2 hours a day and you're playing a video game or you're getting high and then not doing anything and forgetting about your diet because you have the munchies, and you're really you're taking away from all the work you've been putting in outside of that habit. And it's so counterintuitive because it's like, it got to the point for me where it was like, why I no longer enjoy doing this. I'm not doing it for the right reasons. I'm doing it to not be sober. I'm not doing it to be high. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those weird things, but it's a conversation I have with myself and I'm going to be vulnerable with you guys about it. But yeah, like I had to keep my word to myself, and it's maybe not the most healthy way to go about it, but I looked in the mirror and I said, stop being a little bitch. I was being a little bitch. Like I couldn't stop. And it was my mind. It's mental. It's all mental. But now that I've proven that I can go X amount of days or weeks, or I've taken tea breaks, it doesn't have control over me anymore, to the point where it's like I can say no because I don't want to feel that way right now. Like I want to keep being productive. I want to keep the flow of my day going. I have stuff I want to do. And there's nothing better than just feeling after a rut, like being productive, like just spending your time outside of your obligations. Because people give the best versions of themselves at work. And if it's not something you're truly passionate about, it's kind of like, damn, like, do these people or this corporation deserve a better version of Drew Collins than Drew Collins deserves? Like, we deserve to be feeding ourselves with that same energy. Like, no, like, I don't, because everybody does it when they're in public or whether they're with their families and it's not acting, but you're on your best behavior. You're just putting your best foot forward. You're trying to make people smile. You're doing your job. You're trying to just be, whether it's customer service or whatever it is, you're putting so much, you're burying yourself for the bigger picture of somebody else's benefit. And yeah, your career could benefit from that, but like you as a person, in most cases, unless you're running your own corporation or at a job you're truly in love with, which is very awesome, and I'm envious of anybody that's in that position. So if this doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't have to, but it's just the principle that like we deserve to put our energy into ourselves. And currency, the only form of currency I want you to think about is your energy, because if you give it to everybody, it's not worth anything. You need to preserve that for you. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And keep the bigger picture in mind. There's things that you want to do as a person, and nobody's coming to light a fire under your ass or wake you up or shake you out of your bed to go do it. Help is not coming. And if you're waiting for somebody to come do it, enjoy being depressed and tired and just sick of your life, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Like you need to change how you're presenting yourself, how you're investing in yourself every day to reach that goal. So the gym is something that I do. It's a mental reset for me. Like if I'm having a crap day, instead of going and smoking and doing, like, I'm going to go to the gym by myself. Usually I go with my roommate and my girlfriend, sometimes together, sometimes like I'll go with one or the other. And I love working out. So it's something that I've grown to love, but it's my way of kind of resetting and just kind of shutting the world off. I'm not on my phone, I'm not checking my like social media. It's my way to kind of disconnect from what's going on over here and check in with myself and use that to kind of get my frustration out. And not necessarily like I'm now like more like I've learned a lot more about lifting and science-based lifting and hypertrophy training versus strength training. Trying to be functionally fit is something that I think has been lost. I think obviously the older you are, the more important lifting is in general because of bone density and things like that. But like lifting for the right reasons is important because sometimes you'll see you open your phone and you'll see this person with an ungodly physique, but you don't realize that they just got a pump. They're in the perfect lighting and they edited their app, like, or their picture or their appearance, or they're on steroids. And that's not knocking anyone that's on steroids. It's just like you can't compare yourself to other people. You truly can only compare yourself to where you were yesterday, not where anybody else is today, because you don't have that mental frame of how that person got there, what their goal is. Like their goal could be so different from yours. You know what I mean? Like if your goal is just to look good with your shirt off, by all means, like I'm all for it. Like it's tarps off season. Go look good on the beach. Do your thing. If that makes you happy, then go be happy. Like by all means necessary. That's part of like size is the prize. I love it. I'm all about it. Yeah, buddy. Like Ronnie Coleman. Like go crazy. Like do your thing. But find your thing. Figure out why you're doing something. And ultimately, like to the point of the J, like once you work out for 3, 4, 5, 6 months consistently, and when I say consistently, that doesn't mean showing up to the gym every day. People have a lot of resistance because they see some people and they're like, oh my God, I want to look like that. And the more advanced you get in weight training, the more it requires to kind of grow. You can maintain a lot more easier once you're at that point if you've reached your dream physique and you want to prioritize business. But like if your ultimate goal is to get into a routine of working out, I promise you it takes so much less time than what it is you think it does just by what you're saying or what you see online. So if you are somebody starting from like point zero, the ground level, go to the gym 2-3 times a week max, 30 minutes, full body workouts, incorporate just like a little bit of cardio, add walking into your routine, and just like if you're say you even do Monday, Thursday, 2 days a week, 30 minutes, an hour of your week. Everybody has an hour. Everybody has an hour of their week. I don't care. Elon Musk has an hour to go do something if he split it up over 7 days. Like I know people have kids, people have jobs, people have other responsibilities, but like I would really love to look at how much time you're spending watching Netflix, on your phone scrolling, and just other things. You're lying to yourself if you're saying you don't have 60 minutes to commit to your body. You can do 3 days a week for 20 minutes. I don't care how you get there. But if it's Monday and Thursday, show up every Monday and Thursday. And the heaviest weight in the gym is the door. The front door, once you're in there, that's half the battle. Some days, even when you get to a point where you've been going more consistently, some days you're just going to show up and you're not going to have it. Like, you'll hit your first warm-up set and you'll be like, damn, that was hard. And I'm dealing with a shoulder injury right now, so it's a little mentally frustrating when I'm not moving weights. I know I can move, but I would rather move consistently than have to sit out for 3 months, 6 months because I blow my shoulder out and have to reset my mental frame and start over. Like I would rather be consistently doing something, like even if it's just going PT, 20 minutes on a treadmill, abs, walk, roll out, whatever you're going to do. Showing up is half the battle, and you will prove to yourself. I guarantee it. It's going to suck for a little bit. You're going to be sore. You're going to be tired. You'll see newbie gains, which is exciting. Working out is one of the only things where I know you'll probably see people talk about getting a pump, and truly, a pump is a reflection that you don't get in a lot of other things you pursue. into what your future could look like. Because if you have a pump, it's not what you're gonna look like this for 10 minutes. Then you're gonna go eat something, shower, sit on your couch, chill, and then you'll look. It's a slow grind, but you get a quick insight into what it is you'll look like if you stay consistent. Like your muscles are inflamed, you are sweating, you're in the right lighting, you look great, but it's a little mental help because you're like, oh shit, oh shit. Like that's what you're gonna look like if you stay consistent. And that'll be your base someday. You'll just show up and look like that. And it's cool. That's just a side note. I think that's something I thought about that in the past as to like, wow, like working out does give you that little mental frame of like, this is my future if I commit to this. But not a lot of things are like that. So it's almost easier to keep going when you're like, wow, there's an immediate benefit, that instant gratification of being like, hey, look at me. Like, I feel good. Nobody gets a pump and feels worse. If you work out the right way and you're not putting too much on the weight or too much weight on the bar and hurting yourself. Somebody. What's up, dude? We're taking another break, folks. Thank you. Stop it. You're not a lap dog. Stop. All right, dog went a little wild again. I appreciate you sticking through that. I know you didn't have to see what I just did, but had to deal with the dog a little bit. It's making it a little tough at this point, so what I'm going to do is truly just leave you guys with a handful of things. The lonely chapter, if you see yourself there, reach out, connect. My goal is to build a community of like-minded people, so if you're in a similar situation or know somebody who is, reach out to me. I will do my best to connect with you, create a group of people. If it's more than one person that reaches out, that would be fantastic. But ultimately what we want to do here is help each other. And again, that lonely chapter is something that resonated with me. I can drop a link to the video of them talking about it because I promise you they are much more articulate than myself and have a much higher level of success than myself. And I think it's important to share those things that I find valuable, and it's helped me. Confidence, again, be confident. Really just stay consistent and disciplined. Discipline beats motivation every day because motivation is a feeling. You're not going to feel motivated. I don't feel motivated to go to the gym as many times as I do, but I always feel better when I leave, and invest that energy in yourself. You'll start to see, again, it'll suck at first. You'll be tired. You'll be drowsy. You'll be sore, but you'll get to a point where it'll increase your energy levels, increase your confidence, and in turn cause a ripple of success in your life that maybe it's not fair to say, but I think your appearance matters to an extent. It doesn't mean you have to go out and get jacked for the mere sake of being respected. I think everybody deserves respect and to be treated fairly. But if your goal is to start a business or you're trying to make networking connections, it's weird. I've seen it myself because I was a skinny kid growing up. People approach you differently. If you visually can see they take care of themselves or you take care of yourself, you'll see it. You'll feel it from people. That doesn't mean it's fair. It's just a point that I want to make that, hey, if I'm coming to somebody with an idea or something that maybe it isn't comfortable to talk about, but I'm like, hey, I have this goal. You've done something great in this world. I want to talk to you. I want to pick your brain. People are more receptive to you if that they can mentally frame in their head that you have a level of discipline and work ethic towards something that they're like, okay, this guy cares about himself. He takes care of himself. He presents well. He speaks. He appears confident. And confidence goes a long way. So I really wanted to talk about the idea of confidence, how to build it, habit stack. Really just try to remove things before you try to add things. And then you can add on whatever it is you want. I know that I've added a lot of things that I can talk about from a routine aspect that help me stay both fit and mentally equipped to deal with my day-to-day issues that come up. I used to not have the best vices. I used to not be the most healthy person in the world. So, I mean, my skin feels better. My mental frame on the world, how I see things, I'm a much more grateful person because I've practiced that. It takes effort. It takes time to get there. But I promise you, you will see the dividends be paid before you can even cash out on the whole thing. It's like a stock, right? Some stocks give you dividends every quarter, every month, and you're not going to take all the money out, so you don't necessarily see everything, but you do enjoy the fruits of your labor in small ways while you're working towards building that ultimate level of confidence or that ultimate level of success. So that being said, I truly appreciate everyone that stuck it out this far. I'm going to get another episode out before the gap of time it took for this one. That was my fault. A lot of stuff came up, but I'm going to own it. I need to prioritize what I need to prioritize, and the pro does it when he doesn't feel like it. So that's what makes people great, doing things they say they're going to do. So I'm going to stay more true to my word on that. So without further ado, thanks for tuning in. Keep showing up. Stay focused. Never settle. I'm Drew Collins. See you in the next one. Stay strong, stay smart, and stay consistent. Like and subscribe, baby.